check now.
In a couple seconds. Should be good now. Might not pop up on the main.
Yeah, it says public now.
Yeah. It'll probably be on the subscription. Let me just check. It won't tell me on my phone.
I'm not showing on the
I got notice on. Yeah, it's still not on.
Alright, hold on.
There we go, there we go, there we go.
Working?
Should...
Alright, good. Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praises, glory, and honors to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakodash.
Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstones. Salutation. Much love to Yakim out there pushing out his word with sincerity. Alright, and we're just going to go ahead and start in the scriptures. You know, we have technical difficulties, but we're just going to go ahead and hop in the scriptures. Go ahead.
This is Psalms chapter 2, verse 1. Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing?
Yeah, so the heathen rage and imagine a vain thing. The scriptures say why. All right, the heathen are imagining that they're going to set up a new world order beginning with Esau, Edom. All right, they imagine a vain thing. They rage. Because what? They rage because they understand that we are the chosen people of the Lord, and the Lord is going to set us up on high after this wicked, all right, atrocious, unforgiving kingdom is destroyed. Okay? Go ahead.
Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? The kings of the earth set themselves and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed, saying.
Yeah, so, you know, pursuing the Psalms 83, that these people have come together against the Lord, because ultimately if you come against the chosen, the Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you're ultimately coming up against the Lord. Go ahead.
God. Let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us.
Yeah, so let us cast their bands asunder and their cords from us, meaning their ways of bonding us, man, putting us in captivity. All right, when you tie somebody up with cords, you're bonding them. All right, you're banding them up. Go ahead.
He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh.
He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh. So the Most High is sitting back laughing at these heathens, man, the counsel of the wicked. All right, because ultimately the Lord set up their counsels. All right, the Lord set up their ideas, their agenda, their plots, or their devices. So he's sitting back and laughing now that he's actually because the scriptures say the deceived and the deceiver are in the hands of the Lord. So right now the Most High is sitting back laughing in the heavens, man. Go ahead.
He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh. The Lord shall have them in derision.
The Lord shall have them in derision, man. And the derision hasn't even really started for these nations, man. These other nations, right? When they're in straits, all right, when they're in dire places, that's when the Lord's going to have them in derision, man. As we progress, the heathen are going to become more and more in derision, because as they think they're about to fulfill their new world order, the more and more the Lord is going to set up a standard and make them know that they ain't going nowhere with this enterprise, man. They're not going nowhere with this. All right? Go ahead.
This is Psalm chapter 46. I read 6 and 7. Psalm 46, verse 6. Psalm 46 and 6. The heathen raged, the kingdoms were moved. He uttered his voice, the earth melted. The Lord of hosts is with us. The Most High of Jacob is our refuge.
Right, man. So the Lord is with us, man. All right, the nation of Israel, the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Americans. All right, Jacob. All right, we stand from the man Jacob. Our lineage is from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. All right, and the Lord's with us. And when the Lord bring His wrath, these heathen are going to be shaken. They're going to be raging. All right. They're going to be all in the manner of straits and devastation, because what they've been working so hard for and coming into cahoots with each other for is all going to be brought to naught. All right, because ultimately they know what the promises was unto us. That's why they try so hard to keep us from the Lord. All right, just as they did before, when the first thing they would do to conquer us was to sack our temple. All right, defile it. All right, take the vessels, the precious vessels from the temple, the gold, the silver, all right, desecrate the temple. Now they're trying to do the same thing, but now they can't because it's a spiritual temple. But they did it prior. They did it the first temple with the Babylonians, right? And they did it again when the second temple was built. All right, when Antiochus came in there and did the same thing again as the Babylonians did, which I forgot where it is in Psalms, where they said, Psalms 50 and something maybe, where they said Esau was saying raise it.
To the foundation.
Yep. So Esau was always in cahoots with these nations, and these other nations in cahoots with Esau, so they could take us down. All right. But now you can't because it's a spiritual temple. All right. This is unbreakable brick and mortar that we're throwing down over here, man.
Yeah, you might gotta go down. You might be at the bottom.
Verse 5. Then shall he speak unto them in his wrath, and vex them in his sore displeasure.
That's right. The Lord's gonna vex you in his sore displeasure, man. Speak to you in his wrath, man. The Lord ain't gonna come to plead with people, man. The Lord's coming to show his wrath, his fury, all right, with the sword and flames of fire, man. Go ahead.
Yet I have set my king upon my holy hill of Zion. I will declare the decree the Lord hath said unto me, Thou art my son, this day have I begotten thee. Ask of me, and I will give thee the heathen for thy inheritance.
That's right, and this is specifically talking to Yahushua. But what? Pursuing the Romans 8. You gotta back at that, Romans 8 real quick. We're joint heirs with him, all right? So whatever Yahushua has been promised, whatever Yahushua is going to receive, we're going to receive it with him, all right? We're going to be those men to be standing next to him in that day. Okay?
This is Romans 8 and 16. Starting at verse 16, it says, The Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we're the children of the Most High. And if children, then heirs.
All right, so if we're children of the Most High, as Yahushua is, then by default, we're heirs. Go ahead.
It says, then heirs of God and joint heirs with Hamashiach, and so we suffer with him that we may also be glorified together.
And so if we suffer with the Lord, we're going to be glorified with him, man. Because what? We're joint heirs with him. And the Lord was promised all things. Of course, there's levels, you know, there's even levels amongst the elect. But we still joint heirs with him. We're still going to receive what was been promised to Yahushua, man. Meaning the dominion over the nations, okay? The spiritual powers, the perfection, okay? Go ahead.
Come on. Back in verse 8, Psalms 2 and 8, it says, Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thy inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession.
That's right. So the Lord's going to give us the heathen for an inheritance, and the uttermost parts for possession, man, or vice versa. But regardless, it's going to be a possession unto us, man. And the inheritance is something you're going to possess down the road. All right, what's been inherited, or well, pretty much this is the will of the Heavenly Father. You know how before your great grandma dies, or your great grandfather dies, or your father dies, they write a will up with a lawyer. Well, guess what? The will of the Heavenly Father has been written down, and our lawyer's Yahushua, man. So these things been promised unto us in its own paper. You know, nobody can renege us. Nobody can lie to us and try to take it away, because what? It's the will of the Heavenly Father on it, you know, ultimately. And then he gave us Yahushua as a lawyer, man, so he came to supplicate for us, so to say.
Fill that contract.
Yep.
And ultimately, this is the end all be all of World War III, because they, you know, this is what it's going into. You know, the heathen rages. They trying to basically see who they jockeying for position, who's gonna rule next, man. All right, and then also you can go to what's 2nd Ezra 13, talking about how they're gonna be fighting one another. You know what I'm saying? And then Yahushua come back and return. You know what I'm saying? That's why he's talking about, so they're going to break their cords asunder, man. They're going to have them in derision, man. All right, Yahushua's going to be the one that's going to come and take the kingdom. We can also read about that in Daniel. You know, this is all going into the same thing, man. They thinking that they're going to wind up supplanting all these plans and everything like that and break the Most High's will, and then one of them going to rule, man. But nah, man, Jake about to come up. Jake going to reign supreme after World War III, man.
Right. Keep going up.
Verse 9. Thou shalt break them with a rod of iron.
Yep. We're going to break them with a rod of iron, which, if you can grab that in Revelation, it tells you that the Lord was going to have let's say, I think it's rod of iron as well.
Yeah.
Sepulcher. Yep. Oh, yeah, yep. Yeah, you might be able to start, you might be able to start a little too.
Yeah, right here, 25.
Started, yeah, you can start at 25.
Revelation 2, verse 25. But that which you have already hold fast till I come, and he that overcometh and keepeth my word unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations, and he shall rule them with the rod of iron. As a vessel of potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my Father.
That's right. So the Lord's telling us that those that endure, they're going to receive that same scepter, man. That same rod of iron. Okay, and then Revelation 3 and 11 as well. All right, because this is what part of being joint heirs with. That the Lord is going to receive that rod of iron, and so is his elect. All right, his chosen men, the ones that have been there since the foundations of the earth. Go ahead.
Revelation 3 and 11, it says, "Behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown."
That's right, man. Part of that crown is, well, when you have a crown, you have a scepter, meaning rulership. So when you have that crown and that scepter, man, you're going to be doing the same thing that was promised to the Lord. Go ahead. Go back.
Psalms 2 and 9. Thou shalt break them with the rod of iron. Thou shalt dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel.
That's right, man, and rightfully so, because they done all our enemies have done this unto us. All right. First and foremost, the so-called white man, the Edomites, okay, even 2/3 of our people. But at least they're going to get a pass in the kingdom of heaven. But they're going to have shame upon them.
Same thing.
Go ahead.
This is Revelation 19. I'm going to start at verse 12. 11. It says, "And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True, and in righteousness he doth judge and make war. His eyes were of a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns, that he had a name written that no man knew but himself. And he was clothed with the vesture dipped in blood, and his name was called the Word of God. And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon the white horses, clothed with fine linen, white and clean. And out of his mouth goeth the sharp sword, that with it he should smite the nations, and should rule them with a rod of iron, and treadeth the winepress of the fierceness of and wrath of the Almighty power." One more verse. And he hath on his vesture and on his thigh a name written, King of Kings and Lord of Lords.
Yeah. So that's what the Lord's going to receive, man. All right. And then guess what? We're going to be with him when he receives it, man. Matter of fact, he's going to return and he's going to give us our crowns, man. After he's taken, you know, the crowns of the earth. Because ultimately, when he returns, that's him taking the crowns, man. There ain't going to be too much talking. There ain't going to be no debating about it. When the Lord returns, he's taking them crowns. Okay? Go ahead.
I got a quick one. This is Obadiah 1 verse 15. "For the day of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, is near."
The day of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, is near. Okay? And guess what? These things we've been talking about, that's what's the prelude to it. The aftermath of it. Go ahead.
"The day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen."
On all the heathen. 2/3 of our own people are considered heathen. All right? And especially you Edomites, all right, you Moabites, you Japhites, you Hamites, all right? The day is near unto you, man, because you touched the apple of the Lord's eye, man, and you got to pay for it now. All right? The blood of the righteous has to be, now is the time for it to be required, man. All right? Now it's time to pay up for the crimes.
Okay. "For the day of the Most High is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee."
That's right. So as they have done unto us, it shall be done unto them. And that's why 2/3 are included in that. Because 2/3 gave up our Lord and Savior, man. Just imagine, you really got to put yourself in, just imagine the southern kingdom, you know, with maybe some northern kingdom mingled in there, here, a couple there. Imagine them in a crowd just spewing out nonsense, talking about crucifying, they just slobber going everywhere, man. They got to pay for that, man. The ones that rejected them got to pay for that. The Edomites that did all the atrocities unto that, they got to pay for that. The Elamites, the Ishmaelites, the Moabites, all right? All these heathens got to pay for what they've done unto us, man. And as they did to us, we're going to do unto them double. But in righteousness, man. All right? Give unto them double, man. And they're going to have to drink, especially Esau, Edom, he going to have to drink the dregs of the cup, man. You know, like when you drinking maybe an orange juice and they got pulp. Maybe there's some pulp left. All right, you got, guess what? You got to drink that too, man. You got to drink it all, man. The backwash and all. Go ahead.
As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thy own head.
Their reward's gonna return upon their own head. What did they reward us with, man? Straight slavery, straight murder, okay, rape. What else? Lies, deceit. All that's gonna come upon them again, man. All of their lies and deceit is gonna be brought to light, and it's gonna befall them now.
Smooth things. Yeah. Smooth things of his words. That's what they said to the prophets. They say preach unto us smooth things. So the Lord gave them over to the smooth things. Lies, deceits. It seemed all good while they heard it. You know, that's why the scriptures say that his words were smooth as butter. You know,
Put a veil over everybody's eyes.
And who's the one that did the smooth words, man? Esau, Edom. And then after those smooth words, what does it say? The war was in his heart. So now that's gonna befall him again, man. You know, now it's here. We told you everything we need to tell you. Guess what? Now it's time for that war to come out. We've been teaching it with those smooth words. You know, we ain't been fighting, taking up arms, but now it's time for the real manifestation of what we've been talking about to take place, man. Because we ain't had to do nothing. We just had to warn you about it. That's all. Matter of fact, get Jeremiah 28:8, man. We ain't got to do nothing above, beyond what the Lord told us to do, man. We just out here to warn you of the impending doom, okay? We out here to warn you of the end of a kingdom. We're out here to warn you of the end of a world as you know it. We're telling you that the Lord's finna come destroy this place so that he can set up his kingdom. Go ahead.
Jeremiah chapter 28, verse 8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesy both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence.
That's right, and that's what we've done generation after generation. I preach against many countries, many nations of war, pestilence. What else? War, pestilence, and evils.
Yep.
So now we're prophesying against many countries, mainly America, right, aka Babylon. For what? For war, evils, and pestilence, man, and earthquakes, and uproars, and everything that the book's written in, man. Everything that all the calamities and destruction that's come upon the earth, we're telling these nations that is coming for you, right? Beginning here in good old USA.
In a time like never before. Since there was a nation even to the same time, man. That's what's really coming.
Exactly. In a time nobody's ever seen. Well, really what we're doing right now is it's like a time no one's ever seen that. Teaching this word, ain't nobody ever seen this to the level that we're doing it right now. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because when the ministry, when the ministry was being done with Yahushua, you didn't have all the 12 tribes together. This has never been seen on the planet, man. Yahushua didn't have. He had 12 disciples, one of each tribe. You know, and maybe we don't know, but that's not what the scriptures say. You know, now we know that this ain't never been seen done before, man. That's how we know that the end is here, man. The word's been preached throughout the four corners of the earth. All right, the prophecies are happening. Now they're coming. They're right here at your door.
Yeah, the difference between our time and Yahushua's time, they knew what tribes they were from, man. You know, they knew who they were, man. We had to wake up from not knowing who we were, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we had discontinued from our heritage, man. There's a big difference, man.
And even then, some of them didn't know who they were, because that's why they had to be sent to the Gentiles.
Right.
But now, everybody knows who the Israelites are, man. You didn't even have internet in those times, you know. So it physically couldn't be preached to the whole world, you know. Even though Yahushua, he went, you know, to the Americas, you know, but. Nonetheless, now it's the time where the word's been preached throughout the four corners of the earth. And as the scripture says in Matthew 24, then the end shall come. That's right. All right? So, go ahead.
2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first.
And that falling away was us falling away from our nationality, our heritage. All right? Knowing who we were. Okay? Because at least... prior to, grab that sign right there, the Esau, yeah, that one, yep. Prior to this devil right here, all right, Christopher Columbus, as they call him, alias is being Cristobal Colon, Cristoforo Colombo, all right, before this devil came over here to the Western Hemisphere, all right, to the Americas, the indigenous people on this side, they knew a little Hebrew. They were calling on the Lord, but just in different names, of course, but they still knew somewhat Hebrew, all right? They still knew that they were Hebrews. But now here it is in 2020, our people don't know what the fuck is going on, man. All they know is Popeyes, all right, Corona beers, Sweet Jesus, and Guadalupe, man. And spicy nuggets.
Hey, that Christopher Cologne dude hired this dude named Luis Torres, which he knew Hebrew, to come over here, man. He wasn't speaking no Asian languages. That guy didn't know no Asian languages, but he knew about Hebrew, he knew about the Syrian, and so on and so forth, man. So why would you know? He knew who he was coming over to get.
Because I was about to say that, you know, I talked to a real Gadite probably a couple months back, and he thought he was from Asia, man. You know, he thought he was Chinese.
So he wasn't a real guy.
That was like a Native American. Yeah, he thought he was Asian, man. Yeah.
He listened to Esau's philosophy
Exactly.
about very straight. You know,
Yeah.
all Native Americans came from Asia. You know,
Like Chinese.
Hey, but that's the same curse we under. We thought that we was Africans, right? That's what they told us. We was see y'all was Africans. You know, y'all come from swinging in the trees of Africa or something like that. You know.
Tarzan and shit.
Yep. Because Esau will tell you anything but the truth. He'll tell you you're Chinese, African.
Yeah, but like we always say, in order for him to tell us that lie, he has to know the truth.
Exactly. Yeah. And he'll give you 80% lies and 20% truth, just so you know, if you look something up, you go, oh shit, you know, he told the truth. You know.
You assume everything's right.
Yeah, scratch the surface, but it's like an iceberg, man. What you see of an iceberg is only like 10-20% of the iceberg. The rest is underwater. You know. But you just finished that?
Let me finish. 2 Thessalonians 2:3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come and falling away first.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, somebody get Jeremiah 17:4. Because that was a prophecy. And really going all the way back to Deuteronomy 28. But we're going to go to Jeremiah, you know, because this was a prophecy that was going to happen unto us. We'd be called bywords, proverbs, all right? And then ultimately we'd be discontinued, all right? What you got? Or whoever got it.
Jeremiah 17:4. Jeremiah 17 verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee.
Yep. So even Jeremiah himself, you know, in the later reincarnation, because he knew he was Israelite to the day he died, of course. But it said, even thyself. So there was a time when Jeremiah came back and he didn't know he was an Israelite. Shit, Jeremiah was back in this reincarnation. He was just like us. He was probably doing this and that, and then he woke up to the truth. So now we're back, realizing who we are. All right, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, the children of Israel. So now we know, like the brother read there. Read that again, huh?
2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come.
So let no man deceive you, for that day shall not come. So the end didn't come, all right, all them years ago, or all these people telling you that, oh, they've been saying that for years and years. Well, listen to what the scriptures say, man. The end wasn't going to come until these things happen. Go ahead.
For that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first.
Falling away first, the discontinuing from our heritages. Go ahead.
And that man of sin be revealed.
That man of sin be revealed, which is Esau Edom.
The son of perdition.
The son of perdition, all right? Meaning the son of destruction. The man of sin, all right? Which ultimately, this man of sin is going to cause you to take the greatest sin, which is the mark of the beast. The same man of perdition, the one that's been revealed, which nobody talked about prior to these, the 60s, 70s, the late 60s. But during that time, or even before that, really, you know, the commandment keepers, they were knowing who Israel was, the so-called Negroes. But not until Abba Bivens really came in near the end of the 60s, and then our High Priest Arya came in. The vision was given unto him for the 12 charts, or the 12 tribe chart. Then we started waking up to who we were. The falling away started going away. You know, now we know who we are for the, you know, for the elect part. You know. All right, it don't matter if a 2/3 never finds out he's an Israelite. The Lord ain't blinking an eye to it. Okay, He's worried about what He said, and not everybody's in a star role, man. Some people don't even make it to the credits. You know, you was in the movie, but didn't even make it into the credits, man. You were irrelevant.
So far in the background, you don't even know.
Yeah. You're just a passerby, man. All right. So keep going. Let's finish that down.
Come on, Jeremiah 17:4. And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thine heritage
which we did, which we did, and we can't. We stand out here boldly proclaiming our heritage. All right, taking it back because it's been stolen from us by the biggest thief on the planet, Esau Edom. The biggest identity theft has been committed by Amalek. All right, the so-called Jewish man. All right, the ones that call themselves world bankers, they taking on our heritage, but follow none of the ways. All right, that's how you know what their agenda is. They don't want us to know who we are. They'll claim to be us, but not even follow anything about the scriptures, man. As a matter of fact, they'll set up laws 100% contrary to the scriptures. That's why the brother read that the man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. Come on now, the Chinese man didn't do that. You don't see a group of Chinese people living in Israel claiming to be Jewish, or you don't see a bunch of you got Africans that claim to be Jewish, but they're not running anything. They're called Sephardic Jews. They're beaten up and spit on over there in Israel because they ain't the people of the land, you know.
Yeah, the precept for you.
Psalm 79:1. O Yahweh, the heathen are coming to thy inheritance, and thy holy temple have they defiled. They have laid Jerusalem on heaps.
Yeah, and that happened multiple times, man. Mainly during the Babylonian Empire when they sacked Jerusalem. Then during the Edomite Empire, man, the Greeks. All right? And guess what? Edom was there on both occasions, man. And now guess who's back here the third time trying to take the temple down? Edom again. But this time it's gonna come to naught. All right, all his enterprise and all his efforts to try to sack the temple. Because what was the treasure of the temple? The gold, the silver. Guess who the gold and the silver is now? The elect. You can't steal that anymore, man. You can't even get into the temple anymore. Go ahead, finish that.
That was it on that.
That was it? All right, go back to that. Finish that off.
And thou even thyself shall discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thy enemies in a land which thou knowest not, for ye have kindled a fire in mine anger which shall burn forever.
That's right. So the Lord, after we discontinue from our heritage, not because the Lord disrespected us or anything, that's because our people chose to. Which ultimately we understand it was written. But you chose to go serve other gods. You chose to forget about who you were really. That's why the Lord said you shouldn't mingle in with the heathen. You shouldn't have kids with the heathens. So what our people do, they went to do contrary to what the Lord said. So since we did that, our people did that, now we serving our enemies. All right? Now we had to serve our enemies, but like we were reading earlier, now it's time for them to receive the same thing they gave unto us. Okay? What we had to go through, they're gonna have to go through plus 1,000, times 1,000. All right, times infinity.
Obadiah 1 verse 16. For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yea, they shall drink and they shall swallow down.
God said all the heathen. Obadiah is specifically talking about Esau, Edom. He called them out. But he said all the heathen right there, man. Because Obadiah knew. That's one chapter, but it's a very strong chapter. All right? Because the main corporate is Esau, Edom, because he's our main enemy. But what? The rest of the heathen were in cahoots with him. All right? They made they were confederate with him, so now they got to be confederate in his miseries, man. They got to be confederate in his what it say in his what they do to us. It's like maybe it was Jonah when you read his journal earlier, but it's all good. What the atrocities they did to us, now they got to be, they were all. Nah, it's all right. But maybe I'm thinking another chapter, but they were all cahoots together, all confederate together to attack us. Now they're going to be all in cahoots with each other to receive the punishment. All right.
Oh, that was the Confederate.
Yeah. I know. No, I'm saying, but now it was a different scripture I'm thinking about. We'll keep going on though.
God. Obadiah 1 and 16. For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yea, they shall drink and they shall swallow down,
Yep.
and they shall be as though they had not been.
That's right, man. So they're gonna have to drink of the cup that we drink from, all right? The cup of slavery, all right, the cup of getting raped, robbed, and murdered. Okay. The cup of being a homeborn slave. You know, as soon as you're born into slavery, and you don't even have an option. Just like Esau's doing today. You're born, birth certificate. That's how we're gonna have Esau in the kingdom, but in a righteous way, of course, and all the heathen. Because Esau don't do this just to us; he does that to his own people. You know, what they call it, contractual enslavement. You know, enslavement. So we're gonna do the same thing to him, but in righteousness. Okay.
Complete dominion.
Yeah, and it's gonna be spearheaded by Yahweh Shai. Okay, and then again, like we read earlier, we're gonna be joint heirs with him. We're gonna be that ruling body with Yahweh Shai, man. That's why everybody of the Israelites can't be saved right now. And not everybody's part of the 144,000. Because there's an order to this thing. Alright? And the Lord has set it up before the foundations of the earth.
I got a quick precept real quick. This is Jeremiah 49 verse 12. For thus saith the Lord, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have surely drunken.
Yep. So our judgment was not to drink of the cup. We weren't supposed to be at the very bottom. We're supposed to be the gods of this earth. Scripture say, I have said ye are gods. Right? We're the greatest. The Lord made us stronger than all the people. He made us more intelligent than all the people. All right? And spiritually, physically. That's why you see Jake all on the sports industries and celebrities singing and whatever the case may come to. We're the greatest. All right? We're supposed to rule the earth. We're supposed to be perfect. So it wasn't supposed to be like this. We weren't supposed to be at the bottom. So, but what? The Lord still made us drink of that cup. So, go ahead. So it would only be fair if the others that weren't chosen go through it. Because nobody has gone through what we've gone through. But they will. And a lot worse. But in righteousness. Hey, I gotta let him finish this real quick and then you got it.
It says, for thus saith the Lord, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken. And art thou he that shall...
Same niggas every week. The same niggas, two niggas every week, bro. Those the guys that came over here the other day, remember? Yeah, they were standing right there, man. Fucking niggas. See, this is why we don't feel bad for 2/3 of our people. They're gonna die, Lord's will, on the way home tonight. Because they stand over here, listen to us, hop back on the motorcycles, and started blaring music. And look, now they come by every week, blaring music. We don't feel well, me personally, I don't feel no sympathy for 2/3 like that, man. I hope they die.
That's right.
But the more niggas, Spics, and Tontos that die, the better our chances get.
That's right.
All right? The more niggas can't get it, the better for us. Go ahead, because look, after their damnation, they turned it down. They've already scarred, though. Scarred for life.
It says, art thou that he shall altogether go unpunished?
Yeah, so it's a question mainly to Esau, Edom. Well, you think you're going to go altogether unpunished for the atrocities? Let's get some of these signs, the slavery signs, man. You think you're going to be unpunished for all this that you've done? You hear this? You castrated men. You used babies as gator bait. You sold families. Okay? You hung niggas, Spics, and Tontos. You cut off hands. All right? You raped women in front of the men. All right? You took whole countries. All right? To this day, you still make them work. But you think the Lord is altogether going to forget about that, man? You think you get the Monopoly card, skip free, or go not to jail card? Yeah. Ain't no go not to jail card for you Edomites, man. Go ahead.
Art thou that he that shall altogether go unpunished?
Yep.
Thou shalt not go unpunished,
He shall not go unpunished.
but thou shalt surely drink of it.
You shall surely drink of what? Drink of the cup we had to drink through, man. We had to drink of that cup, and it was a bitter cup, man. It wasn't no, you know, it was that 151, man. It's something you can't just throw back, man. It wasn't no the coconut flavored vodka. Yeah, this was 151 straight. All right, we had to drink the 151 straight. Now you got to drink it at 151 straight, man. Double, yeah, just
Double shots.
And if you spit it up, you're gonna have to lick it up. You know,
Force feed. You know, they used to force feed Jake.
yeah, break your
Break
teeth.
your teeth in, put a funnel down your throat.
Yep.
Let me
Feed
read
you
this
with some
last
porridge.
precept
Yeah.
on this from Baba Kasha. Jeremiah 49 verse 13. For I have sworn by myself, saith the Most High.
Yeah, so the Lord swore by himself, man. We're not supposed to swear, but the Lord can do whatever he wants. He said he swore by himself. So that's something that's gonna, he said, man, he told us not to swear, but he said, look, I swore by myself. Go ahead. So this is how serious the Lord is about this.
For I have sworn. So it's like, are you praying, God, please, let me save America. Like, bro, that shit already written, bro.
Nah, dog.
Like, it's like,
It's finished, dog.
It's finished. I sworn, you know. Jeremiah 49 and 13. For I have sworn by myself, saith the Most High, that Basra shall become a desolation.
Right, Basra is the chief city of Edom. All right, there ain't nobody inhabiting Basra. Basra ain't popping right now. All right, the ancient city Basra. Basra is like just like Jerusalem is a people before it's a place, so to say. You know,
America, right?
yeah, Basra, yeah, exactly, would be America, more specifically. You know, go ahead.
That Basra shall be a desolation, a reproach, a waste, and a curse, and all the cities thereof shall be perpetual waste.
Yeah, so hey, all Esau's place is gonna be a perpetual waste, man. That's why I said leave neither root nor branch. All right, Isaiah 14. All right, that they shall not build cities anymore. Yep. So that's why, because what? Those places are gonna be desolate, man. We don't need Esau no more, man. He's already served his purpose, and the last purpose is to bury bodies and build up our kingdom, man. Which we don't need to hear his input, his opinions. We don't need to see him at all if we don't want to. All right, but
Like the Rothschilds don't gotta see
yeah, they
us.
don't see it, and just like everyday Edomites don't see the Rothschilds.
Right.
You know, so that's the level we're gonna be on. But we're gonna love our people. We're not gonna do like the Edomites do. But the point is that Esau, man, he's done. He's finished. No matter if he's in America, Russia, Italy. Night. He's night. Yeah, he's finished, man.
Finished.
Yeah. All right, so
Say that shit out there.
go ahead. I got it. Okay, go ahead.
This is in the book of Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 21. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom.
Yeah, rejoice and be glad, but shit, you take a look around. Esau ain't doing that, man, because they starting to realize that shit. You know what? It wasn't as good as we thought, and if it gets back to the normal, it's gonna be a new normal.
Yep.
You know, and it ain't gonna be like you could have been living it up. You know.
The precious rights are going to be taken away from you.
Yeah, you're precious, because we those rights were for you, not for us. We use it for our benefit because the everyday cop is a fucking moron. But really, those rights, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, all that's for Esau. So they were supposed to be living it up, and they were. But now look at them. Look at them. Look at them. Go ahead.
Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom,
Yep.
that dwelleth in the land of Uz.
Which is another Edomite city.
The cup also shall pass through unto thee.
Yeah, so again, going back to that cup, man. Our enemy's going to have to drink of that cup, man. Most specifically, Esau Edom.
Yep.
All right, because he's the one that did the most atrocious things to us. He's the one that made us drink most of that cup.
Hey, I gotta bring this out like right now.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
It's going into this, and I don't want to lose spirit. This is Daniel 9 and 12, and he have confirmed his words which he spake against us and against our judges that judged us by bringing upon us a great evil
for under the whole heaven have not been done, as have been done to Jerusalem.
That's right. So well, again, who's the number one people that did the worst atrocities to Jerusalem? The worst atrocities ever been done have been done by Esau, and to who? The Israelites. Okay, so now, rightfully so, the Edomites gonna drink of that same cup but double. There ain't gonna be no chaser. There ain't gonna be nobody to pat you on the back. There's not gonna be no welfare system. All right, there ain't gonna be no food stamps. All right, there ain't gonna be no child what they call it, child support, Section 8. Ain't gonna be none of that. Because now you're gonna have to drink the same cup we did with double, without the benefits. You know, at least Jake got some benefits. You know, in Esau's kingdom. But you niggas ain't gonna get nothing, man. You gonna get a you gonna get the choice of picking the whip out. You know, all right, which whip you want to get beat by? You can take the one with the spikes on it, take the one made of leather, you can take the chrome one. Which one you want? That's the only matter of say they're gonna have in it, and that's if we feeling good that day.
Hey, real quick, hey, we starting to see a small taste of that right now, man, because Jake's always been at the bottom of the barrel economically, no jobs, always, you know, unemployed and so on and so forth. Yo, this big ass number of unemployment, these is predominantly Edomites, man. Because Jake is still in the same position they was in beforehand, so it's not like you got 30-something million Jakes trying to go get on unemployment now because of a change for them. No, these predominantly Edomites, man. So this is a small thing, and this is why they jumping off buildings like, bro, you ain't never been broke before, like you ain't never been without a job. Like, we used to conditions like this. If anything, we might fuck up our life if we come up on some money, man. You know, we get a six-figure, like 6 figures or something like that. We might go buy a sports car, kill ourselves, finna go buy too much drugs and overdose with it. Esau go do some dumb shit, like, you know, he always had this type of money, but now that he coming down low, you know, getting into a position of a Jake, man, being unemployed, and now he got to walk around and seeing the only so-called people working right now, the so-called essential people, these are all Jakes, man. You know, working at the gas station, at the Walmarts and shit like that, these low-level jobs, man, minimum wage jobs, those are the only people really working right now, man.
Yeah, minimum wage. Or minimum wage, maximum losers.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, the brother's right, man. You don't have no upscale people working. Like, oh, I made 6 figures last year because I'm the manager of this hotel, the Hyatt Inn with the 100 store. Nigga, where you at? This nigga sitting at home watching Netflix, man. Hey, at least a McDonald's nigga has a job, you know?
Hey, prime example right now. Behind us, we got these ships, right? The owners of these ships is these Edomites. They not making no money right now. But I guarantee them janitors, they still getting paid because they on the ship, they on the clock, man. But the company itself ain't making no money with the boat stocked. All right, and a lot of these other businesses as well too, man. The hotels may be empty, but they still getting maintenance done around the side.
Realtors, they're going through it too.
Yeah, they ain't selling.
Nobody buying houses.
So like, real quick testimony. I was at the liquor store the other day, and they had a new chick working the register, and she's sitting there talking to the other lady about how she literally just got her realtor license when this whole thing happened, and now she didn't have no work. So she had to get a job over at Publix.
That's good. Hey, good for you. That's good for you. See, I know one Jake. He had a company, online company. I prophesied to him that I was gonna fail. And again, I told him it was gonna fail. It failed. And then he went to get his what do you call it? The mortgage license or the realtor license. So now that failed too, man. He should have listened to me and been out here with us.
Oh yeah. We went to 22. Remember I told y'all I seen him back in February during the boat show.
Yeah.
Right down over here in downtown.
And he been by the camp.
That's the same dude that came with his girl?
Yeah. I wasn't here. I think I was
you
in
weren't there
Mississippi.
that day. You was in another state. Yeah.
But there you go, man. We're not making this up. You know, we trying to help you out.
Yeah, boy,
we showing them biggest. I mean, shit, what do you think we wait? We just sitting out here for no reason. We trying to help you out, man.
They should definitely take heed to the words of the prophets, man.
That was it on that, right? That was it. Ariel, you go ahead and finish that. Yep.
So back in the book of Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 21. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwelleth in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken and shalt make thyself naked.
Thou shalt be drunk and make thyself naked, man. That right? That's what Esau Edom is right now. He's naked. Not only is the Lord exposing him through his prophets, he's making himself naked, man. Like Obadiah said, how are the things that Esau has searched out? How is Esau made bare? He's making himself naked, man. Well, first and foremost, us, because, you know, they get the info from us, of course, you know. But the Lord, nobody really listens to us. So, but when Esau says it, everybody's, oh my God, he's doing this, he's doing that. Wait a minute, we've been saying this for how long? 10 years now? 30 years? beginning with the apostles.
Yep. Real quick, now you got all these different so-called philosophers coming up on the internet talking about this is going on, this is going on. But real quick, soon enough, Esau's just gonna come out like, look, my shit's all out there anyways. I might as well just come out as the devil I am and just kill these motherfuckers.
Revelation 12 could come to pass.
Yeah, Esau don't care. At this point, Esau doesn't give a shit what you think or what you feel. And the best example of that is Donald Trump, man. Man, you see how he treats some interviewers, the people in the interview? He's like, stop. No more. I got 2 questions, 1 question. Bro, it's funny. That's how. But that's the spirit of Esau coming right back out, man. And they're gonna be doing that same shit. All of them, whether it be the president, whether it be a random Edomite or a military man, they're just doing. They've already been exposed. The brother read earlier to the man of sin, or the man of sin, the son of perdition, be exposed, right? At this point, he's been exposed. He knows he's been exposed. His own people exposed him. He doesn't care anymore. He's not holding back. He's going to do it in your face. All right? And so what if you don't believe him? What you going to do about it? You had something?
No, I was going to say, you were talking about the truth and how that Revelation 12:12 about how Esau about to come out with great wrath, man. All right? He's not going to care about the truth no more, right? Or the so-called truth being exposed. Now, we was looking into this thing called Project Zephyr, right? The main thing that they kept talking about, oh, the internet people, and so much truth is getting out. They wasn't talking about the flat earth. They wasn't talking about the RFID chip, really, but they weren't talking about all these other philosophies, the health, the food, and all that stuff. They were talking about, what they call it, anti-Zionism or whatnot. Basically talking about Jake finding out the truth. There's like this small percentage. Some say 7%, some say 15%. Now, if you ever hear them talking about Jake in America, or so-called Negroes in America, we're always 13%, right? Since we got over here, all the way to the same day, we still at 13%. So when you're listening into this, basically they're saying the biggest threat of the information coming out is you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are finding out the truth about who we are and who they are. They ain't worried about all that extra shit, man. All right, this is the thing where they about to start having that great wrath coming out because why? We on the highways and the byways pushing out this here truth. And so it's like, damn, my whole shit is being exposed. All right, this is way more important than the, you know, all these other systems and shit that they got out, the banking and all that extra shit. They're not really worried too much about that. More importantly than the tribes waking up, man. That's the most dangerous information out there on the web. Where they was like, well, they was gonna just try to put out disinformation. But now the thing is, we just gotta kill them all, man.
And what they do is they'll set up certain people to push out truth. Right? This is called control. Yeah, no, it's not disinformation. They're gonna tell you the same thing we've been telling you, just not on this level. We're gonna tell you about it. But it's called controlled opposition, you know, whistleblowers. The whistleblowers ain't nothing more than Esau's pocket, man. Alex Jones, whoever, anybody on YouTube, or on the internet telling you the truth outside of outside of the Israelites, they're set up, man. You don't see Habibi or Ching Bang Boom from China telling you the truth. No, you see mostly Edomites. Because what? They're set up. Hey, we'll toss you 20 grand to say this on YouTube.
Even some niggas, man.
Yeah, even some niggas, man.
Yeah,
we call them Sambos.
Yeah.
Sambos, Coons.
Uncle Tommy.
Nah, Uncle Tommy was a good guy.
That's a good guy. Yeah, that's what
other Israelites are teaching that we are Israelites, but are they pushing don't take the chip, don't do this, don't do nah. Are they still preaching that we're Israel?
I mean, some of them might be sincere. And then some of them are set up as well. You know, they'll tell you you're Israel. And then, because it don't matter if you know you're Israel. It matters if you're going to take the chip and worship the Lord or you're going to worship Esau. Because you could be Israelite that takes the chip. What was all that for? That you was in the classes learning you were Israelite, you were around at 28, but then you take the chip. What good was that for, man?
Wasted all that
That's
time.
why the script, I mean, this is nothing new. Where you act like nobody ever sold out in the nation of Israel. Fuck out of here. Judas, the wicked scribes and Pharisees, you know. Caiaphas, he was a sellout, man. He didn't want to lose his position, so they knew about this. They were the main ones that knew about the Old Testament. They knew about the prophecy about our Messiah coming, but when he came, they denied him. Why? Because they were going to lose their position, because they were sellouts. Because what did they try to trap him up with? So they threw a coin at him. How should I say? Render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, man.
Right.
It's going to show you they were trying to catch
trap him up.
Yeah, they were trying to catch Yahushua up so they could turn him into Esau. And who did they ultimately turn him into? Esau. Go ahead, though.
So, Lamentations 4:22.
And another brother can come up in about 5 minutes. We'll do 30-minute intervals.
The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion.
So the daughter of Zion, meaning the Israelites, our iniquity has been accomplished, man. We went through slavery. We served our punishment to this, and we're still serving it to this day. But really, it's been over. All right. Now it's been time to come back to the Lord. But what? Esau furthered our affliction. Go ahead.
He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, he being the Most High.
Yeah, he will no longer carry us into captivity, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right? Now it's time for you heathens to go into captivity.
He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins.
He will discover thy sins, man. And your sins has been revealed, discovered. I brought it to light, brought forth out, man. So that's what's going on now, man. And that's why, you know, we understand that Esau's time is running short because he's been revealed. Everything that we've been telling you about, he's doing. So there's nothing left for him to do except for World War III and to make the chip mandatory. Really, there's nothing else after that. Come get us. Come gather us up. You know, try to trap us up. But really, the prophecies are here. They're all speaking. There's really nothing left except for the missiles, the mark of the beast to be actually implemented on the whole earth, right? Mandatory. What else? The famine, the civil unrest, World War III, which is coincided with the missiles, and then Yahushua's return bringing salvation. That's it, man. It's a handful of things waiting to happen.
Nahum chapter 1, verse 9. Nahum chapter 1, verse 9. What do ye imagine against the Lord? He will make an utter end. Affliction shall not rise up the second time.
Yeah, affliction will not raise up a second time, man. Israel's not going back into captivity, man. All right? Our afflictions has been since the beginning of earth. The earth was created, man. And it's just been a long story for us, anyway. Only been what, 15 days maybe for the Lord, 14 days, 2 weeks for the Lord. It's been millenniums for us. But what now? Affliction will not rise up again for us, man. Because what? Our affliction is done. We've served our punishment. Now it's time to come back to the Lord, serve Him in truth and sincerity, and live peaceably with the earth, man, and with the inhabitants. Let the inhabitants of the earth rejoice as well, man. Let us rejoice in our inheritance. All right. So, brother, want to come up?
I'll do that.
Shalom, Akim.
All right, can I just say, get right into it.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 1. It says, I say the truth in Hamashiach, I lie not.
So Paul, speaking, he say the truth in Yahushua, like not, man. Go ahead.
It says, I say the truth in Hamashiach, I lie not. My conscience also bearing me witness in the Holy Spirit, or the Holy Ghost, that I have great heaviness and continual sorrow in my heart. For I could wish that myself were accursed from Hamashiach, from my brethren.
Because the scriptures say, cursed be him that hangeth from a tree, man. All right? So Paul desiring to take that lot of Yahushua, because the scriptures say, Yahushua, you know, having come in the world, pretty much being a just man, having done no sin, you know, but we all know the understanding of that, you know, is paying for his past life. Yahushua had a heavy lot to complete, man. All right, fixing everything from the beginning all the way up unto the end. All right, but Paul is desiring, hey, he wished himself for a curse from Christ, man. All right, go ahead.
It says, verse 3 again. It says, For I wish that myself were accursed from Hamashiach, from my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh.
So it goes to show you according to the flesh, man. Read on.
Who are Israelites?
Who are Israelites. So this thing is all pertaining, you know, according to the flesh, man. All right, that's why when a certain men were given that office to go out unto the Gentiles, all right, that's what it's always been about, according to the flesh, the bloodline, all right. It's always been a lineage. Lineage is always going down, man. All right, from Shem, okay, all the way down to Abraham, Isaac, to Jacob. All right, it's always been about that bloodline, man, the sons of the Most High. Okay, nobody else. This thing is a bloodline. This is our heritage, that we are taking hold on in these last days, man. All right, that's why, hey, we coming out of all walks of life. Matter of fact, give Revelation 5 and 9, somebody real quick. All right, we coming from all walks of life. We coming from amongst all nations, man. All right, here declaring the words of Yahweh Shem Yahushai in these last days. You have something?
Yeah, Revelation.
All right, go ahead.
Revelation chapter 5, verse 9. And they sung a new song, saying, Thou art worthy to take the book.
And who's that talking? The same person that Paul is talking about, man. Yahweh Shai, that key, man. The key piece to this puzzle, man. Right? That mediator between God and man. What connected us back to the Most High? Once the brother read earlier, Jeremiah 17 and 4, Thou even thyself shall discontinue from thy heritage that I gave thee, man. What connected us back, man, to that power source? All right, Yahweh Shai, the Son of God, man, the Son of Man. Okay? Read on.
Thou art worthy to take the book and to open the seals thereof.
So only Yahweh Shai was worthy to take this book and open the seals thereof, man. Leave it up to us, man. We'll still be here in captivity. All right?
Said no man was worthy.
No man was worthy.
No man and nowhere.
All right? Read on.
For thou wast slain, and hast redeemed us to the Most High by thy blood out of every kindred, and every tongue, and people, and nation.
So when the scriptures speak about, man, all nations, man, it's talking about Israel scattered amongst all these different nations, man. All right? From captivity to captivity. All right, being scattered, mixing the holy seed amongst the other nations. The scriptures tell you that the sons of God saw the daughters of men, okay, and saw that they were fair and they laid on them. And then it tell you in Nehemiah how Nehemiah strove with certain of the Jews because their children would say their children spoke half of the Jews' language. You know, some of them speaking Moabite languages, Edomite languages, Elamite languages. They was half, man, partial, because why? Their mothers was heathen. So we've been scattered throughout all history, man. We've been mixing amongst the nations. All right, you had certain it tell you in Jeremiah to the Jews that still dwell in Egypt. That's why you had in the law that every man was supposed to come back to Jerusalem, all right, on the high holy days. Hence the Ethiopian eunuch. All right, understand what thou readest. Okay.
Acts chapter 2.
Come on. Well, hey,
Devout men.
come on. Somebody can get that. You know.
I got one real quick. This is Ezra chapter 9, verse 1 and 2. It says, Now when these things were done, the princes came to me, saying, The people of Israel and the priests and the Levites have not separated themselves from the people of the land, doing according to their abominations, even the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Jebusites, the Ammonites, the Moabites, the Egyptians, and the Amorites.
From Ham, all right, to Moab, the so-called Asians, especially amongst Ham, Israel. It tell you how we pretty much what David said. Pretty much we went into the land of Ham. All right, during the time when Yahweh Shai was born, Mary and Joseph, they flew into the mountains. Where it's talking about Egypt. Okay, that's why another scripture, Exodus, I believe 11 and 7, where it said the Lord does put a difference between the Egyptians and the children of Israel.
No, it's not gonna move this mountain.
Okay.
Yeah, they know
So hey, man, scripture say Ephraim is a cake unturned.
Ephraim was from Hamitic
exactly,
mother.
exactly. Yeah. What was she Egyptian?
She was Egyptian.
Yeah. So Ephraim mother was Egyptian, man. Okay. That was it on that.
No. Let me finish off. So just to reiterate what they was talking about in verse 1 with all those different nations, said they had not separated themselves from them. All right, verse 2, it says, For they have taken their daughters for themselves, for their sons.
Kind of Jake like a variety.
Variety.
So I said variety. Variety of women. All right. Go ahead.
It says, For they have taken their daughters for themselves, for their sons, so that the holy seed, like the brother was going into that bloodline, notice that they was talking about these other nations taking their daughters, not the males. All right, because our seed would still go on as if an Israelite man plants a seed in any other nation, a woman. It says, For they have taken their daughters for themselves, for their sons, so that the holy seed have mingled themselves with the people of those lands. Yea, the hand of the princes and the rulers have been chief in this trespass.
And remember in that same chapter, or same book, the Lord said anybody that was from their mother was a heathen, you had to get out. You had to leave. So that goes to show you that the Lord, even though they're Israelites, the Lord told them to leave. So they went and spread their seed amongst the other nations. It doesn't matter if they were a boy or girl. If your mother was a heathen, you had to leave, because the law was we shouldn't go into the heathen and give our sons into the heathen or give our daughters into the heathen. So those people that the Lord told, I'm pretty sure it was in the book of Ezra, the Lord told them to separate them. They were still Israelites. If they had, their father was an Israelite, of course, they were told to leave. So where do you think they went? They went back to the nations that look like them. So we're intermingled with everybody, man. They don't even know that they're Israelites, but they're Israelites, you know?
Heavily rooted into these nations. That's why, you know, no coincidence when a thing got onto the web, you got people popping up all kind of places saying Yahweh Shem Yahushai, looking like all the other nations, man. Because they spirit resonates with this word. Miami, you said you had something?
I got that Acts 2 real quick. You want that? And then I had something else whenever these two brothers get their precepts. This is Acts chapter 2. This is the precept the brothers quoted earlier. 2, and I'll start at verse 4. It says, and they were all filled with the Holy Ghost, and began to speak with other tongues as the Spirit gave them utterance. And there were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews, devout men out of every nation under heaven. Okay. And real quick, just a precept, just to further go on what the brother's speaking on. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 7. Revelation 7 and 9. And brothers who know about this chapter, this is where it names the 12,000 out of each tribe of Israel. And then verse 9 it says, and after this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues stood before the throne. Now a Christian will read that, they'll hear the of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, and they'll believe, well, see, this is talking about everybody. All right, this is talking about everybody. Well, this is talking about everybody that's been scattered to the other nations of Israel. But just to further prove that, let's get a couple words in here, or a word in here. This is G 5443 for the word kindred. Okay, because it said of all nations and kindreds, right? So the Greek word there is phule, yep, and it says a tribe. In the New Testament, all the persons descending from one of the 12 sons of the patriarch Jacob, man. All right, so that right there shows you that all those, the people coming out from all the nations, all kindreds, talking about one of the tribes of Israel, man. Okay?
And what like the brother mentioned earlier, it was in the law that you have to come to Jerusalem 3 times a year. Why would random heathens come to Israel or Jerusalem 3 times a year, man? Those men that is talking about from these different countries, they're the Israelites, devout men. Right? Devout to what? Devout to the laws of the Heavenly Father, man.
And real quick, I got an example of this. All right, and of course it's Cornelius. All right, and we're going to go through the scripture real quick. Acts chapter 10, and just right to the point, verse 28, just to further prove again that just because you look of another nation doesn't mean in the scriptures you got. This is why we go into words, man, because you have to have an understanding of what the hell you're reading, man. Go ahead.
Hey, Ash, real quick precept for you, real quick. Something said. Jeremiah 10:11. You know, just really, it's gonna go.
I just want to get one word in this, and then I'll get it.
Because the brother said, why would some other nation just come over, man? The other nations have their gods, so if they coming over to worship the God of Israel, and they look like a Chinese person, they're Israelite, man. You know, go ahead.
Jeremiah 2:11. Hath a nation changed their gods, which are yet no gods, but my people have changed their glory for that which does not profit.
Yeah, so them nations loyal to their gods, man. All right, has a nation changed their gods, which is not no gods, but our people have changed their power. Yeah. You know, I just want to get that real quick.
Like Ishmael or Moab, you don't see them convert in the middle of their lives. Like they reach the age of 25, and all of a sudden he a Christian. Now, if a nigga's a Muslim, Ishmael is a Muslim, he gonna be a Muslim till he die. If Moab's a what they call it, a Buddhist or Confucianist, whatever they call that shit, they gonna do that till they die, man. Only Israel, they change with the wind, man. When 1 minute the wind going that way, this nigga's a Christian. Next wind is going this way, he's a Hamitic. You know, only that is in the nation of Israel, man. Confusion.
So going back to this example with Cornelius, and the reason why we always bring up Cornelius when we talk about when it talks about other nations and them being Israelites, because Cornelius was the start of the whole Gentile movement. Okay, because the Christian church will teach you that Gentiles mean everybody can be saved, but it's really talking about the people of Israel, the Gentiles, because they were in a Gentile state of mind. All right.
For that, the scripture say Cornelius was devout.
That's what I got right here. Well, that too, but this is another precept. This is Acts chapter 10 and verse 30, just right to the point, and it says, oh, it's a lie. I clicked on the wrong one. Acts chapter 10 and verse 28, Salakia, and this is I'll start at verse 26. It says, but Peter took him up, saying, stand up, I myself also am a man. And as he talked with them, he went in and found many that were come together. Okay, verse 28 in this point, and he said unto them, you know how that it is an unlawful thing for a Jew to keep company or to come unto one of another nation. So he's telling Cornelius and his little group that he got with him that, yo, you know, it's against, you know, for us to be around people of another nation. Now, Christian again will read this and they'll be like, well, see, he was an Edomite. Yeah, he was an Edomite. He was some other type of nation, right? Let's go into the word there, another nation. Okay, it says another nation, G246, alophilas. Okay, so you got two different words there. So let's get the principal word there, or the front word. I forget the exact term for that. It says alos, and it says another or other, right? Now let's go to the other word in there, and it's phule. Okay, the same word that we found in Revelation 7, where it was talking about the great multitude, which, like we found out, was of the 12 tribes of Israel. So that great multitude that's going to be delivered is of the 12 tribes of Israel. And now Peter was just telling Cornelius in the group of another nation. It's against them to go with another nation. So phule, again, is a tribe in the New Testament of all the persons descending from one of the 12 tribes of the sons of patriarch. So what he was telling Peter, or what he was telling Cornelius in his group was, yo, we can't be around you Israelites that thinking that you Greeks or this and that. You know, it's unlawful for us. Well, he wasn't a Jew. Yeah, he wasn't a Jew, a so-called Jew. He didn't know who he was, basically. He was an Israelite, but he didn't know what he was. Because he was of another nation.
He could have been a northern kingdom tribe, you know? Because, you know, he was a Gentile, so obviously he wasn't. And he was a centurion for Rome, so they knew who the southern kingdom was. Yep. So maybe he was, you know, not Benjamin, Zebulon. You know,
Asher or something. Yeah. Let me just finish it real quick.
Maybe he was from the half tribe of Manasseh.
I don't have to speak on that anymore. But let me finish the precept, Acts 10 and 28, and it says, and he said unto them, you know how that it is an unlawful thing for a man that is a Jew to keep company or come unto one of another nation, meaning the other tribes, okay, of Israel, or come unto one of another nation. But the Most High has shown me that I should not call any man common or unclean. Talking about the other tribes of Israel that didn't know they were Israelites. Okay,
so that's why this scripture came into play. Go ahead.
Revelation chapter 2 verse 9. I know thy works and thy tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich.
So, hey, as a matter of fact, we can make that threefold. All right, because why? First reason, this is talking about all the other. This is talking about Jews at first. You know, not actual working out the same works. You know, because you just can't call yourself a Jew or Israelite and you doing other things. All right, what makes you a Jew or Israelite? The acts. All right, the deeds. Okay, so read that.
Hey, real quick, an example of this too during that time was what's it called, damn, it was a dynasty name of them. Hyrcanus? No,
you talking about
the Herodian dynasty, man. They were Edomites that were saying that they were Jews.
But they were, that's like, because they were keeping the laws, trying anyway. The Herodians, they were keeping the laws. That's why the Lord said, Israel of Israel, because you can be an Israelite, but not really be an Israelite, not because you can know you're Israelite, but that's why the Lord made that distinction, the Israel of the Most High. You know, not Romans 9. Is that where you are?
Yeah,
Romans 9?
But finish it off.
Because real quick, because you could be an Israelite and keep the laws, but you still not Israel of the Most High, like the wicked scribes and Pharisees were. They knew they were Israelites, and they were keeping the law, but they didn't accept Yahushua.
Yeah, exactly. They went off of faith.
Yep. It said, Lord, Lord, haven't we done these works in thy name?
Yep. Carnal. Go ahead.
Revelation 2:9, it says, I know that thou works in tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan.
So today we use that for the so-called Jews over there in Israel. All right. Amalek. All right. But to back up what the brother said, man, you know, that was talking about Jews at that time, man, that was claiming to be Jews. All right, but they wasn't doing the work. So to back up, you know, what the brother had. Yeah, you know, it was Jews that didn't know that they were actually Jews. So they was doing, they were Hellenized, doing, you know, the Greek customs. All right, that was it on that. Get that real quick.
I'll get this here in the book of Ephesians. First, this is Ephesians chapter 2, verse 11. Wherefore remember that ye being in the time past Gentiles in the flesh.
And that's why the brothers was bringing out, you know, this is a time that pretty much that's been never seen before, right? Because we were all Gentiles at one point in time. That's why this time is so much more different, man. We all actually started, going back to what the brothers bringing out earlier, we all actually lost our heritage. So this is a time, that's how you know we in a different time that's never been seen before. Because why? We all started out as Gentiles. None of us grew up knowing, except High Priest Ariel, I believe what his dad Yaakov was in it. But you know, as far as a whole, none of us were born into knowing that we were Israelites. You know, brothers got kids and whatnot, but as far as the mass awakening, us awakening, we didn't know that we were Israelites, man. All right, we had to find out, man. The Lord had to wake us up.
Law, statutes, commandments from birth, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Not despising Christmas and so on and so forth and all those things, man.
So this just shows we in a time like no other. Go ahead.
Wherefore, and again, this is Ephesians chapter 2, verse 11. Wherefore, remember that ye being in the past time Gentiles in the flesh, who are called uncircumcision by that which is called circumcision.
And you had, some of them, actually, because during the Greeks, man, if you go into the history of that, all right, they was having surgeries to make, if they were circumcised, already circumcised, had the foreskin removed, they were having surgeries to make it look like they were back circumcised.
Yeah.
You know, the scriptures don't say that.
No,
yeah,
no. They was uncircumcised.
They was uncircumcised. Oh, uncircumcised. Yeah, they was circumcised, but they would have surgeries to make it look like they were circumcised, like they never had been circumcised. You go into the history, some of that, because that was the hip thing to be a Greek, Hellenized. They're like, oh shit, I'm circumcised, so they get surgery and make it look like they uncircumcised. Yeah,
pretty much to say,
yeah. They have surgeries to make it look like they were uncircumcised. What kind of foolishness is that?
Dead skin back.
Yeah, like,
hey, but wait.
I don't know how they did it, but
look what they do today, right? The scriptures say that if you have basically blonde hair, that's what? Leprosy, right? Yeah. You have our women that do the same ass shit to this same day, man. They go put on a blonde wig. Absolutely. They're forcing themselves to look like these damn Gentiles, man. They go get the blue contacts, blonde wigs, they go lighten up their skin, but you just don't even realize that these are signs of the heathen and a walking abomination, man. This is a what you call a clean leper, man. You see a blonde hair, blue eye white woman, that's what you call a clean leper from head to toe, man. All right, when you have other situations where they call like vitiligo and shit, where you got spots, you know what I'm saying? It's like what you would regularly call a leper, but man, these Edomites is like clean lepers walking around, man. And our people, they go, instead of having the lively looking self with the lively looking hair, the lively looking skin, they go and they put on that death, man.
You know, they get what do you call it? Bleach themselves. Benjamin be on that bleaching shit.
Now, if you go into it scientifically, what they would tell you about those genes is those are recessive genes, man. We have so-called dominant genes, all right? When you have the lighter skin, the lighter hair, and things like that, the lighter eye color, those are basically not all the way formed people, man. All right, their DNA so-called hadn't all the way formed because we all pretty much born like that with a lighter colored eyes and skin and so on, but our melanin starts growing in us, man. All right, so, but basically those, you know, our women, they still do this to the same day, man. They try to go and try to convert themselves to looking like these damn heathen and get surgeries and shit done like that, man. Go get the blonde hair, the blue contacts, and to lighten up their skins and shit like that.
Ugly as fuck too, man.
Not even realizing that they're looking like the damn devil, like a dead person, basically, man.
When a black person, a so-called black woman, Israelite woman, when she got blonde hair, that shit just looks awful as hell, man.
Contacts.
That shit bugged out. That shit ain't pretty, bro. Like, I don't know why they do that shit. That shit is not pretty. back into the scriptures.
Hey, but the same thing we're going into. Why would you try to, you know, put the foreskin back on, bro?
There you go.
See, same curses.
It says, who was? I'll read it again. Ephesians chapter 2, verse 11. Wherefore remember that ye being in the time past Gentiles in the flesh, who are called uncircumcision.
Still doing the work. Still doing those works of those Gentiles in the flesh. Go ahead.
Who is called uncircumcision by that which is called circumcision in the flesh, made by hands, that at that time ye were without Hamashiach, being aliens from the commonwealth of Israel.
Yep. So when a so-called Mexican Israelite crossed the border, what they call him an alien. Illegal alien. Why? Because they say, oh, he's a foreigner. All right, to this nation or to this land. So what? We were in times foreigners to this nationality. All right, foreigner to our heritage, man. Foreigner to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. We all had to learn those names, right? Those were foreign names. Why? Because why? You had to learn the Hebrew. You had to know. You had to say it in the Hebrew to actually say the names properly, man. All right. If it's not in the Hebrew, you're not properly saying the names of the Most High and His Son. So what? We were all foreigners. Say we know what Hebrew was. I didn't have no idea what Hebrew was before this truth, man. All right, go ahead.
Being aliens from the commonwealth of Israel and strangers from the covenant of promise, having no hope.
Yep.
And without the Most High in the world.
And everybody can relate to that. Oh, I'm just a nigga, man. Oh, I'm just a spick. We don't got shit. We poor. We in the ghettos, right? Bro, that's how we felt, bro. No power, no help. Well, we might as well join unto this society. Be like the Gentiles. Be like these heathens. You can't beat them, join them. That's the mentality we had in the world. We can clearly see that they are the superiors. They own this, they own that, they have everything. Or the white man, they got money. That's what we was. We thought we was just poor, and that's it. But what? Once we got it, that's why they never wanted us to come into this truth, come into this knowledge. Because when you see, like, oh shit, I'm an Israelite. The promises was made unto Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and I'm one of them men. Hey, that's why we out here standing boldly, man. Because why? We're taking upon our heritage, man. We're owning it, man. Owning up to, hey, this is our heritage, and what we're willing to fight for spiritually. We out here fighting. Right now, we out here fighting for our nation, man.
That's right.
For you to be out here on the highways and byways, man, you fighting for your nation, man, spiritually.
Okay. This is the beginning of the saints gonna take the kingdom, man. This is where it all starts, man. The foundations of it, man.
Because right now, look, Esau took us over by indoctrinating us, giving us philosophy, brainwashing us. So what? You got to start from there. You just can't get arms and get guns and then go at them like this. Oh shit, let's go at the enemy. No, you got to understand how that war started. You feel me? You got to approach that war the same way that it started when they approached you, by brainwashing you, indoctrinating you, right? Giving you all these sort of philosophies, telling you this, telling you that. So that's where you got to start, and that's where we're starting, man. All right, and the battle is almost over with. Okay, to the point where Esau, Edom, he's lost. The word has went throughout all four corners of the earth. He tried to infiltrate certain Israelite groups and try to set up certain sellouts and this and that to try to distort the truth. Right, send up certain agent provocateurs, do all kind of things. But what? This truth still abounds, man, and it can't be stopped. All right, go ahead.
That's right. Back in the book of Revelation, chapter 5, I'm going to read verse 9 again. It says, so Revelation 5 and 9. And they sung a new song, saying, Thou art worthy to take the book and to open the seals thereof.
What? Because Daniel said, hey, that's beautiful. Because Daniel said, seal up the book until the time of the end. So that's proved Yahushai. When Yahushai died, that was the end times, man. Because he was slain. Once he was slain, what? It's gonna read. It's gonna tell you. Go ahead.
And to open the seals thereof, for thou wast slain.
So thou was slain. That's how the seals were able to be opened. So they go to show you, prove that when Yahushua was slain, that was the end times.
Hey,
right there.
Revelation 5.
And like you said, who was the one that said that the books be sealed?
Oh, Daniel. Yep, and John.
Yeah, come.
Oh yeah, you talking about the beast and the beast.
For those that understand,
If you can receive it, you know.
There you go.
Had the same vision, same breakdown.
So again, it says, for thou wast slain, and hast redeemed us to the Most High by thy blood out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation.
Yep.
And has made us unto our power kings and priests.
Yep.
And we shall reign on the earth.
Therefore, fulfilling a prophecy, Exodus 19:6, I believe, thou shalt be a nation of kings and priests.
Yes.
Okay? And through Yahushua, through the sacrifice that he made of his with his own blood, all right? He didn't grab no lamb or no dove and told the Most High, here it is, it's done. No, he was that lamb, man. All right? He was slain. Go ahead. We get that in Numbers, yeah.
Numbers, chapter 1, verse 18. Numbers 1 and 18. It says, and they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families.
Their lineage. That's what they go into that word pedigree.
By the house of their fathers.
Yep.
According to the number of names from 20 years old and upward by the polls.
Yep. So what? They declared their lineage because the so-called Jews today are my mother.
Yeah.
They, they go by the lineage of their mother. What? When did that start, my when they started? What time period?
I believe they're in the Herodians, back to the Greeks.
Yeah, the Greeks. Yeah. Well, I thought it was like a certain line, but
that started calling themselves
after their mother. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, that was during the time of the Greeks.
Yeah,
the
during the time of the Greeks. I was looking more of a specific, but you're right. During the time of the Greeks, but they started going by their mother. You know that, and that's how the so-called Jews, the Edomites today, they going by the lineage of their mother. Even when they say they Native American.
Even the Jew. Oh yeah.
You know, they like, oh, my mother was part Native American, Cherokee, or whatever they say. Like, bro.
Like real quick, the reason they do that, the lineage you're talking about is the Hyrcanus, because what's his name? The dude, Herod.
Yeah.
That lineage married into the Hyrcanus line because he was one of John Hyrcanus' servants or slaves.
Yep,
so he married into the daughter, and then by default, my mother's a Jew, so I'm a Jew. And that's that's
the lines, the specifics, Herodians. All right. So yeah, man, and the so-called white man, he does that today. Why? Because 9 times out of 10, his forefather raped one of these Israelite women on these tribes here. You know what I mean? That's how they do that. Because why? They conquer certain lands, and then what? They take on their heritage. And the only reason why you take on that lineage, because your forefather they want to be the Egyptians. Well, what? The Ptolemies. All right, that lineage, that line down there went to Egypt. So what? Now the Egyptians, because why? The men then laid down with the women of that land. So here it is. Now they want to claim to be these people. Every civilization. Why? Just the so-called white man with that sword that went around, rape, robbing, murdering all these nations. So here it is. He planting his seed in these nations. Now, oh, I'm Egyptian, or I'm this, or I'm that, or I'm that. No, man, your forefathers just raped one of the women. Go ahead.
This is Psalms. Let's go by saying. So Psalms 49:11. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names.
Their lands after their own names. So check this out. A woman is likened unto the field. That land, that region, when you go, it tell you in the law, when you go to take over that land, what? You take the women, and it tell you how to deal with them. Yep. So what? That's like them planting their seeds in them women, man. Taking upon that heritage, sitting on those thrones. Slaughter the men, put the men in slavery, take the women, and then take upon that heritage, because it tell you in Malachi that the Lord laid Esau's heritage to waste, man. So this man is always cleaving on to these other nations and everybody else's heritage. Identity, yeah, that's the biggest identity thief in the world, man.
Hey, I give you an example, like you talking about with the mothers and stuff. You got, I know y'all all know about Drake. Drake, he's Jewish, right? Claiming to be Jewish because his mama is a so-called Jewish woman, right? Not knowing that his father, he wouldn't even claim his father's lineage. Oh, my father's a black man. I'm Jewish because my mama Jewish. Like, no, nigga, you really a Jew from your father, man. Not your mama. Your mama don't really matter, man. But see, he all backwards. He thinking, oh, I'm going off the lineage of my mother. So when he say he's Jewish, he is Jewish because his mama. But really, he's a real Jew based off his father, man.
All right, he's just in that mind state, and that's how they still do it to the same day. Oh, our mothers are this, our mothers are that. But, man, you're not who your mother is, you are who your father is, man. All right, he has the seed, the sperm that's planting that. I mean, it's the same thing. The Most High use farming as an example on a lot of things, man. You go plant an apple seed in the dirt, all right, you plant an apple seed in some water, you're still going to get apples, man. You'll never plant an apple seed anywhere on the face of the earth and get watermelons or oranges, man. All right, that's basically the equivalent of what they're saying. Oh, whatever man put his seed in me, I'm going to be whatever the mother is or whatever the earth is. So if the earth or whatever this ground produces watermelons, but we're going to put orange seeds in this here field, we should expect to get watermelons. No, man, you're going to get whatever that seed is, man. You can have a whole watermelon patch and you put an apple seed down in there, you're going to still get an apple tree amongst those watermelons, man. All right?
And that go back to Esau. That's another one of those lies deceiving the earth. That's a part of that too. You know, going by the lineage, saying mix. Oh, I mixed my mom's white and my dad's black. And that's another part of that deception. That's why you got to go back to the word, man. All right? Numbers 1 and 18, the lineage by the pedigree the other fathers, man. All right, and that's the whole key to this thing of ours, man. From Israel being scattered amongst all nations to the whole Hellenization, the Gentiles, so on and so forth. All right, that's a heavy key. That what you got to trace the lineage by your fathers, by the men. All right, that's why the scriptures always show you he begot him. He begot him.
The Chronicles.
All right, the Chronicles. All right, it's always showing the lineage, man, because that's what it's all about, man. But here it is in these times. All right, we don't have control over DNA testing and none of that stuff. As far as when that whole DNA testing, that's fake anyways, because when you trace your lineage, yeah, see, he threw. But when you trace your lineage, right? They say, oh, you part, a lot of your bloodline come from West Africa. 50%. So yeah, come from that. Yeah, but look, people have moved all over the world. All right, that's based off of what region those people dwell in today. 2,000 years ago, they wasn't on the west coast of Africa. So where were they prior? Before that. So that whole DNA stuff, that's not, that's flawed, man. That's not really gonna help you feel like, oh, I'm an Israelite. I'm Jewish.
Real quick, why the hell would you want to listen to the same people that took away your heritage and spending trillions of dollars to try to keep you in the dark of who you are, try to find out who you are from them? It just made no sense.
These are the same people that tell you that those tests are like 50+% not positive, or not correct. So and they only go back about 100 years. Yeah. 100 years, your great-great-grandfather could have came from somewhere else. 100 years back, it would have went to America. So what does that show you?
That's just another way for them to get your information.
Get your DNA, get your blood. Send them a swab.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, but like when they talk about the so-called Cohens, these Jewish people that say they're descendants of Aaron and Aaron's sons, I'm like, which one of y'all niggas that found Aaron and dug him up and took his DNA to compare that to that, man? So when you're going back to these, our DNA goes back to this. Where did y'all find them at to get their DNA to compare it to? Because, I mean, I know you didn't do it because it would have came back as our DNA, first of all. All right, you would have looked like a so-called Haitian. All right, but nowadays, they say, we go back to this, we have DNA. These Jewish people love to go on that DNA shit. But where did y'all find any of these people to take their DNA test from? But ultimately, forget all of that. We brought it out earlier. If the spirit bear witness with our spirit, we're the children of the Most High. That's more importantly how you can take that DNA test, man. Because you can have people that look like us, that's not like us, man. People that don't look like us, that's like us, man. All right?
Okay. Get back in Romans, Romans 9.
This is Romans 9. I'm going to go back to verse 4. It says, let me go back to verse 3. It says, For I could wish that myself were accursed from Hamashiach, from my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh.
So we went through so many precepts, man. Just based off the flesh, bro. How we were scattered amongst all nations, how your lineage go by your father. Brothers went through history, brothers went everywhere, man. So it's all about the flesh, man. It's all that confusion about all nations coming in, man. If you still on that level, then that's just you, man.
Just forget about it.
Yeah, just forget about it, bro. It's like, bro, we can't get no more detailed than that, bro. Right. It's like, damn, bro. You know what I mean?
At this point, you believe it or not, it's not. Who
yeah,
cares?
Bro. It's like, damn. Go ahead, man.
Hey, and again, going back to that Project Zephyr, that was the main point of what the whole problem was, man. It's about basically the identity of
the Jews, they're like, oh, the Zionism or whatever, whatnot, they was using certain terms, you know, but if you understand this, you just read between the lines. Oh, this percentage, they talking about the Jake, basically, you know what I'm saying? They talking about Jake finding out about the truth about the Israelites, you know, and they gotta hide that because it's super dangerous to their whole structure, man, all right? But it says, verse 4, Romans 9:4, it says, who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption, the glory.
So when Yahushua died, all right, that was that opening up for that adoption, man. Okay? That's when that adoption was opened up, man. So who do you think that was for? That wasn't for all the other nations, man.
And going back to that, that's why it's important for these people to keep that alive, man. Hold on, man. The whole, we sitting like the Queen of England has, they say is sitting on the throne of David. They actually had a coordination on that, and the stone of Jacob at the feet, so they say, or whatever, whatnot. But all this is predicated on people believing the lies that they're the children of Israel, man. All right, they would say that the Anglo-Saxons, which, well, they're Anglo-Saxons, all right, because that goes into what the angelic sons of Isaac, they really the demonic sons of Isaac, man. They're not the angelic sons of Isaac. They, again, stole our identity and everything like this, right? So if you understand the identities of who these people are, it's the Wizard of Oz all over again, man. Oh, you just a nigga behind this thing now. Why we was all scared of you, man? Because of these lies and these deceptions. We the real Israelites. We supposed to be having y'all in captivity. We supposed to be ruling the earth. The Most High is actually with us, man. We don't got nothing to fear if we know that, man. We thought that you was our God, man. We thought God was with you, man. But now we found out the truth, man. It's inside of our DNA. It's written all throughout our DNA, man. We're the salt of the earth, man. All right?
Go ahead.
Just to go with that, we'll read that again about the adoption.
Romans 9:4 says, who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption, the glory, the covenants, and the giving of the law, and the service of God, and the promises.
This is Ephesians chapter 1. We'll start at 4. Ephesians 1:4. According as he hath chosen us in him before the foundation of the world, that we should be holy and without blame before him in love, having predestinated us unto the adoption of children by Yahushua HaMashiach to himself, according to the good pleasure of his will.
Hey, because, hey, that's beautiful you brought that out. Having predestinated us to that adoption. So we was already predestinated, Lord's will we the men. We was predestinated because adoption would come. That's going to show you it was already predestinated. Adoption would come.
And that Romans shows you who specifically, what nation it was going to go to.
Yep.
And this was even before we was even born.
Yep, because, and you said another point. You said what nation? Because at one point in time, we weren't considered a nation of the Most High. That's when you go to Hosea. That's why I go in that prophet. Thou art not my people. So we weren't a nation of the Lord at one point in time. So an adoption was set up for grabs for a nation of people. Right? So that was for us, man. The nation of Israel, to be adopted back to being his people. Because say, Lord, me, they are not my people. So what? We wasn't the nation of the Lord at one point in time. So the adoption was up for grabs. But what? It was already predestinated for us to come back in, man, because the promises. All right?
That's why Romans, real quick, that's why Romans 8, it says that I'm going to be your power and you my people again. Because the Lord, he cast us off. So that's why he got to adopt us back in. We're going to be his people again.
That's why the apostles be talking about being grafted in. You can't be grafted if you was never a part of this. You know, because when you graft plants, you can't graft a plant with a species of an animal, or get a piece of skin from an animal and try to graft it with a plant and maybe something will grow out of it. No, just like when you get burned, you know, the brother Daniela, you know, that brother knows exactly what grafting means. They'll grab a piece of skin and put it on another part of the same flesh. They're not gonna. It's not gonna be anything else outside of what you need. They're not gonna grab a skin of cactus and put it on your damn burnt leg to try to replace the skin that was burnt off, man. No, you gotta be of the same type to be grafted in, to be adopted back in.
Okay? Esau does that. He tries to graft, like he'll splice genes, like the lion mixed with tiger. Yeah, it's a big ass animal, but it's not fertile and it dies.
It's sterile.
Yeah, it's sterile and it ends up dying very young.
Another example. Another example would be citrus fruits. You know, they'll graft like a lemon tree with an orange tree or whatever, because it's of the same sort of species. You know, and it kind of works, and they make a little hybrid or whatever the case may be.
Yep, and how good is that for you? It comes out with no seeds.
Yep.
And it's GMO.
It's GMO.
Which
genetically modified.
Exactly,
yeah.
which
doesn't get fruit.
Exactly, which a bunch of GMOs actually lead to cancer. Eating that consecutive for years and years and years and years, that's linked back to cancer.
The Lord said, don't do
You know what I
that.
mean?
Don't mix that stuff
He
up.
said, the Lord specifically said not to make seeds. Esau does it anyway.
And there was one particular reason, like your brother's going too far, as that whole grafting in. You remember the man, he lost his face? That video, and then somebody died, and he actually got somebody's whole face put on his face.
Rejected it.
Exactly, but matter of fact, only reason why he's able to keep it because he had to keep taking pills every day, so his body, so his body don't be like, what is this?
Just like heart transplants,
Yeah.
a lot of times it gets rejected.
Yeah.
The nigga dies anyway.
So that's why you got to roll off of medicine for your body, so your body don't be like rejected. You know, go ahead.
Just a quick explanation of going into the grafting. Paul spoke on it. This is Romans chapter 11, and just to clarify who he's talking to, I'll start at verse 13. This is Romans chapter 11, verse 13. It says, "For I speak to you Gentiles, inasmuch as I am the apostle of the Gentiles, I magnify my office. If by any means I may provoke to emulation them which are my flesh, and might save some of them. For if the casting away of them be the reconciliation of the world, what shall the receiving of them be but life from the dead?" And this is where it starts getting into the breakdown of it, of the whole grafting idea. It says, "For if the first fruit be holy, the lump is also holy. And if the fruit be holy, so are the branches. For if some of the branches be broken off, and thou being..."
They didn't last time.
Select, you want to say something?
Tears might be rolling up on him.
Oh, okay. All right. Verse 17. "For if some of the branches be broken off, and thou being a wild olive tree wert grafted in amongst them, and with them partakers of the root and fatness of the olive tree, boast not against the branches. But if thou boast, thou bearest not the fruit, but the root thee."
Gentlemen.
Verse 19.
Excuse me. Officer Hudson, Tampa Police Department. How y'all doing?
Good.
Good. So right now we're operating under the stay-at-home order, so we can't be out here doing this. No, it's not. Stay-at-home order, if you're not essential, as in police officer, somebody, delivery services, different things, you can't be out here. We realize that y'all are out here for a cause, and that's understandable.
We can be ahead at all?
No. You have
What
to
about all
be
these other people? What if we do people walking around? Hey sir, look, respectfully, just hear him out for 1 second. Okay?
So
Just hear him out.
if you're not essential, you have to be out. You can't be here congregating. It's for your safety, COVID, everything. You don't want to be out here anyway.
So is social distancing the other?
No, sir.
What about all these people walking around?
I'm not, sir. I'm talking to you. Worry about what I'm talking to you. Okay. So y'all have to disperse this. We're asking you. You know what I mean? It's no problem. I'm asking you to leave. Not is what I asked you to do. Leave. None of this. You can't be out here doing it. You're not essential. You realize you got a call going. That's all right, but you gotta go. That's the end of it. That's the end of it. It's not group 2.
So, you know, to add on to what he's saying, I respect what y'all are doing.
Yeah,
like my partner said, this is for a tremendous cause. Can I finish? Or not really here? Okay, I understand, but I'm going to add on to you other folks that are standing here respectfully and trying to hear us out. We get that you're doing it for a good cause and it's important.
All right, let's go ahead.
Close out, bro. Close out. Close out.
You're technically not an essential worker.
All praise, glory, and honor to
Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Bashem, Rakakadosh.
Double honors to the elder apostle, great
Millstone, salutation, and much love to you off your mouth.
Shalom.
Shalom.
All right, shalom.
Shalom.
Thank you, sir.